anything.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 9Moons Season 3. I am one of the casters today, Big Fella, and I am so happy to be joined by the wonderful Novanta. Novanta, how are you today?
How am I? I'm doing fantastic. 9Moons Gaming continues to change the whole script when it comes to Rocket League, and this season is no different. We got 2 matches happening this week, and I'm the booth with the Big Fella.
All right, well, I appreciate the warm welcome, Novanta, and we got some very exciting matches for you as well as the audience underway tonight. We have the Bread, not Team Bread, but just Bread, going up against PP Time, headed by Captain Jamie. A little bit of an interesting name choice, but these two guys, wonderful captains from what I've heard so far. Great plays. I believe both of them are 1-1 on the season, heading into week 2. So it'll be exciting to finally get to see these two guys go head to head.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we went live. PP Time is definitely kind of a nod to PP Man. Jamie and Moist have the team chem of the twos, and I had the distinction of working with Moist last season and Moisty Flick, but Bread has to be the best name I've ever seen for a Rocket League team in so long. That logo is crisp, established 2022. It may be their time to shine, because right now, if it's a logo battle, Bread's on top.
Absolutely. I mean, right now, as of this season, not too much to know about Skoy. Tractonics is a veteran of the league as well. Lemon, I've seen very active in our 9Moons Rocket League Discord, always playing with the higher ranked players, trying to fit in, get a name for himself, and rise up in the ranks. Starting out at Diamond 3 this season, he's only got more and more room to improve this season. So far, judging from our Clips channel, I think Lemon has done a phenomenal job and is already improving, even only in week 2.
Yeah, these teams are pretty much even on paper. It really comes down to how they're going to be able to use their skills in the run of show. As you guys will know, last season I was part of a team and my job was really more of support. But this would be a little different of a beast. PP Time has shown they're aggressive when they need to be, so Bread has to respond in kind. Let's see if that happens tonight.
Absolutely. So these guys are some of the biggest names of our league as of right now. Jamie, very, very long veteran, been with us since Play on GG Season 1, was a grand finalist, but fortunately lost to myself. So we know Jamie has always been a solid staple in our league. So it's fantastic to be able to see him come back and head up his own team this season. Finally being able to get some support. I know in past seasons a few times, Jamie has not been able to draft a player that can work well with him as well as be that support. Jamie has always been the passer, the support player, the enabler for his teammates. But oftentimes in previous seasons, we haven't seen that. But with this season, so many champion players being able to be added into the pool, with Moist and Jamie already having that synergy from their twos tournament, them being able to work together and work off of each other, I think PP Time is definitely going to be a danger this season.
How dare you talk about the analysis and being all great with your job by just saying, oh, fortunately they lost to me last season. I see the shade there, big fella. What was that all about, man?
Listen, Jamie and I have a very long history together. We were best of friends, so him and I go way back. It's always fun to poke fun where we can at all times. So it's always a pleasure to be able to cast some of his matches tonight.
Absolutely. This is a presentation of 9Moons Gaming. If you haven't already, make sure you follow the 9Moons Gaming channel on Twitch. We have a fantastic upper division and lower division. This is upper division contest today. We got 2, a double header, double bill. Big fella in the booth. I'm so honored to be in the booth with them. These are 2 best of 5s that are going to happen quite now. PvP time against Bread. And it's going to be a classic here in week 2.
Absolutely. I think, honestly, the player to look out for in this matchup, I think, probably is going to have to be 2 players. Right now, I think Jamie from PP Time. If we're going to have to pick one on each team, I think Jamie's definitely the one to look out for. Being the captain, you have to be a leader, especially in this 9Moons league. Being the highest ranked player, of your team, you kind of have to offer your lower ranked teammates some guidance, be able to assist them where you can. Jamie's one of the perfect players to do so. Being able to be there for passes, be able to set you up and execute the shots. And then on Team Bread, I have to say, I think Skoy might be the player to look out for. Not much. We don't know too much about Skoy so far. But, again, I believe they're both 1-1. So obviously he's able to lead his team. Tractonics and Lemon, from what we know as well, Tractonics, a veteran of the league, and Lemon, a steadily improving player for Bread. Just Bread. But I think those two captains are probably going to be some of the players to look out for.
I'm kind of in a little bit of a different mindset. I give a shout out to Moist, again, my former teammate at Moisty Flick last season, being able to be that second man to stop some of the offensive attack on the counterattacks from other opponents. That's what I'm looking for on the other side. When it comes to a team like Bread, you got Skoy, you got Tractonics, but no one really wants to handle the third man. Lemon has an opportunity and a half today to really show out and overperform and say, hey, look, my rank may be Diamond 3, but I'm a Super Saiyan legend at heart.
100%. I think regardless, it's probably going to be close in this series. Again, it's only week 2, not much to be shown so far, but from these matches that we've played last week, there can be a lot to be told. Jamie's PP time did actually defeat Phatties Barbecue last week. A lot of the casters' favorites heading into the season. We saw Burnt and Quack be that dream duo in our twos tournament in previous weeks, being able to clinch the first place for that. So they already had previous synergy as well. And we all thought on the caster desk that Phatties Barbecue would take a lot of games off, be the #1 seed. But surprisingly, PP Time took them down in the first series.
Well, I'm all about that twos chem. There's nothing to be said about that, and it worked out for them. Not taking that away from PP Time, but there's a reason why we call 3v3 standard, because it's standard, because we say it's a standard. There's way too much ground to cover to rely on that twos chem alone. PP Man, pretty much kind of to the name of the brand of the team, has to step up to be part of that party as well, or else the wheels will fall off pretty simple. Again, second week, there's a lot of chance to figure out what worked for which team, what doesn't work for each team. But PP Time, they find a way to make that third man be part of that rotation, a part of that shooting, scoring, and defensive options. They may be the presumptive first seed.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it could very well be so. Their strength this season, just in the 2 matches alone, have been very well proven. I think these guys definitely have a chance at being one of the top teams of the league this season as well. And, I'm just excited to see some more Rocket League action with tonight's matchups.
How dare you absolute me? You absolutely me? How dare you, big fella? I said the truth. All I'm saying is I'm not going to do predictions here, because when it comes to predictions, I always get those wrong. I always try to pick a team and it ends up being the opposite. I will not jinx anyone today going into the match. Cast a curse or beyond, but I will say we're in for a treat, and it's only the first match of 2 this second week, the 3rd season of 9Moons Gaming.
Amen to that. I am so excited to finally watch some more Rocket League, ladies and gentlemen. PP Time versus Bread. Here we go. First match already starting very strong in favor of PP Time, with a lot of dominance and already a quick shot on goal, as Skoy trying to cross the ball, get that clear that they need out. Moist Towlette going to follow up with some more aggression, set up some of his teammates.
Moist Towlette's been one of the few hidden gems when it comes to just being a general in that mid-pitch and that upper third, being able to find their teammates where it be. Didn't work out for them quite there, but got to give a little bit of credit. Being able to split 2 defenders and have open space to put a shot. That didn't go nowhere this time, but giving them a nice connection, it might be a chance to have a little bit of advantage.
Lots of bump action coming out from both sides. Jamie rocking the Knight Rider for this series so far. Lemon with nice defense. Jamie the last back. Gonna try to get a decent clear, but just gonna be on the retreat. Tractonics trying to be aggressive, gets a nice demo. Skoy tries to get it off the wall. Jamie already up, not able to be defended, and Jamie is is going to score the first goal of this series.
Well, what time is it? It's PP time. This one here was kind of lazier for the net. Shot on frame, and a lot of times you don't have a shot. It's up to you to make your defenders work, but the defenders didn't get the memo. We have ourselves a 1-0 advantage, and only a minute and 15 seconds have elapsed there. Not to say that it's enough to say it's a win in the bag, but it says a lot. It's the first one to score.
Absolutely. Nice little pass attempt. Looks like they're going to get a demo and try to set up another shot on net. Jamie always ready for that shot attempt or center as Moist Towlett gets another nice cross. Lemon going to try to settle it. Doesn't get the flick he wants, but does stop Jamie's aggressive offense for now as the ball continues to go coast to coast as Bread tries to get the clear that they need.
Well, you have yourselves a 1-0 disadvantage. Only about 2 minutes have elapsed there, so you have some time to equalize. And I always say this in Rocket League, a 1-goal advantage isn't much of an advantage at all. So when it comes down to Bread, it really comes down to how they're going to find a way to make sure they have control in the back half of this one.
The first goal is always the hardest, Novanta, and that is what Bread is proving so far. Their offense is getting stopped quite frequently. Haven't seen too much out of Skoy in terms of offense quite recently. Only have seen a lot of defense attempts, just trying to block shots, maybe try to clear the ball and go up for a 50, but we haven't really seen too much of a showcase out of Skoy. Meanwhile, Jamie has quite been the star player right now, always being able to assist his teammates and try to go up for these shots. Just as I say that, Jamie with a nice block as well. Nice shot by Lemon. But now we start to get a little bit of offensive momentum for Bread.
Talk about Skoy before him, they're not so much as impressive in his first one. A lot of time to let Rocket League to play, but more often than not, when you have that early goal you can see, you want to make sure that you have some sort of dominance in that mid-pitch. And even though possession doesn't get any points in Rocket League, you got to give it to Bread to being able to be cheeky with it and finding a way to make goals happen. We have ourselves a tie score there, fella.
That was a great setup, great attempt by Jamie, but not enough PP time members to defend the next few shots. It was just Jamie back in net, unable to save all of the barrage that happened from Bread there. And now we have evened the board, a minute and 30 left to play. Jamie trying to be as aggressive as ever, but right now, Lemon being a great initiator for Bread on offense.
One of the situations where you have the rotations of a center formation and you want to be able to be a three-headed Hydra, have everyone as strong as shooting options and defensive options. And now we have ourselves a tied game in the final moments of game one. Who's going to be the first one to flinch? Who's going to be the first one to be a hero? This is what Rocket League is about. And it's only game one there, big fella.
Skoy doing a great job of moving the chains for Bread. Moist Towlett doing what he can to keep it in the corner and slow down the momentum from Bread. Moist Towlett, not enough boost to keep going. Jamie gonna try to get the mid boost, but stolen by Tractonics, but they are on offense. Jamie does not care about boost so far. Tractonics gets a nice demo, which starts a power play. PP Man's gotta be careful. Weak hit into the corner, but PP Man is just gonna try to flick it into the other end. Jamie gonna be that +1 he needed to clear the ball fully into Team Bread's half.
Makes you wonder whether or not that was kind of a missed opportunity or more of the display of dominance. Last minutes of game one. And you wonder whether or not if it goes to a overtime situation, which is very probable, who would have the advantage. You know, PP time had that first goal, was feeling pretty high, but seeing that goal, that lead evaporate, they're probably kicking themselves right now what could have been.
As only 2 goals have been scored so far, we should be heading into overtime. Both teams with 1 on the board equal, heading into this first overtime of week 2.
Well, typically the overtime period tends to favor the team that scored last. Momentum, you believe in that, and that would be Bread. Having an opportunity to see a deficit, see that deficit evaporate, now it's time for them to really put their in front in this best of 5. But you know, PP Time has a win to their tally this season. Wants another one. We're going to see more of an aggressive side from them.
Lemon with no boost, no cares in the world, trying to get that shot and goal in overtime. Moist Outlet playing a little passive defense, risking a lot for that save. As he does get a nice clear, Skoy tries to settle down the ball. PP Man there to get the 50, but Jamie gonna hit it behind Tractonics. Tractonics being aggressive all game so far, but with a nice pass up by Lemon, Tractonics won't be able to get there quite yet. But Moist Outlet gonna be the sole defender to try to clear this out, but the momentum is still in Bread's favor.
Yeah, you made the mention about Moist Outlet. It's kind of an advantage there being a twos player, understanding the importance of being back on the line. So many times in threes, everyone wants to be a hero, especially in that overtime period. But to have someone stand back and say, you know what, I'm going to defend the line, really has been a difference so far.
Bread, though, momentum has shifted back quite a lot. Although Skoy does give them a little bit of breathing room with this clear. PP Man trying to get the clear, play a little bit of ping pong, volleyball, whatever you'd like, as Jamie tries to get another clear, but this defense is relentless. Brick walls for days, as PP Time is time and time again clearing these balls out, but an opportunity could arise. Tractonics hits it a little bit high. Lemon with a great attempt, stopped by Moist Towlette, as the offense now starts for PP Time.
It's a long stretch from Moist Outlet, but it might be the end of this one here, and that's a goal. And guess what? They come from behind. Brett takes game one.
What a beautiful opportunity that Tractonics saw and took. He saw that both PP Man and Moist Towlette were trying to get boost, weren't exactly in the best of positions, but finally were able to execute that overtime goal with just over a little bit of a minute there in that overtime. It doesn't look like Bread was phased at all.
Well, call me Nostradamus because I called it. Usually you go to an overtime period, it does favor the team that came from behind, and Brett found a way to manufacture a goal when it needed it the most. One game gone, and they have the advantage.
Bread looking very strong out here. While Skoy wasn't necessarily the all-star that we all had thought that he might have been, you know, he was the staple of his team. Maybe have been the bottom of the leaderboard, but he was there when his teammates needed him, and that's exactly what matters for a winning team, for them to be able to come back from behind and rally together to score that overtime goal.
That's when you know you have a strong team where the quote-unquote star can hang back and still get the dub. Now it comes down to PP time. What do you do being down one game? Here's a chance to equalize. Can they do it there, big fella?
Their offense was relentless in the first couple minutes. That's what led to their first opening goal of the series. So they absolutely could do it. But right now, Tractonics and Lemon being a force to be reckoned with. Lots of demos coming out from their side to lead the charge into these potential power plays that then lead to their favorable goals.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times these best of fives, like second game and the fourth game, the even number games seem to be more aggressive. The team with the advantage wants to double down as soon as they can, and a team that sees themselves with a deficit is trying to make sure they equalize. So you can see a lot of bumps, a lot of demos, a lot of that man-to-man, car-to-car, rocketeer-to-rocketeer defense, and it becomes a little bit more, I don't know, scrappy, if you will.
100%, I agree with that one. A lot of demos coming out of both Game 1 and Game 2. Lemon with a great pass in Tractonics to finish. Great 1-2 setup, and Bread score first.
I'd have no idea what happened there. I thought the goal got extra wide for a second. I thought it was going to be to the left of it, but you know what? If you have that pinpoint precision, you deserve that goal. 1-0 there for Bread.
PP Time definitely have to build up some momentum in order to come back from this deficit. I mean, again, the first goal will always be the hardest no matter what game you're playing. Even if you have scored in other games, the first goal will always be the hardest. And I think Bread realized that, tried to get a cheeky 1-2 on goal, and now they can relax. They have a little bit of room to play with. They're up one game, they're up one goal. They have a little bit of opportunity to just kind of relax a little bit, but Tractonics does it, trying to go for the double tap. Lemon trying to follow up as well. Skoy being the guy in the back trying to defend Tractonics with another demo to shorten PP Time's offensive possession here as Lemon tries to get it cleared. Jamie as well with a nice pass. Jamie trying to execute on that as well. Does pass the third man, PP Man. Tractonics trying to get past Jamie. Seems like Jamie right now is playing a 1v5, trying to be everywhere he can to support his teammates, but also at the same time, it could prove to be a little detrimental for his team as Skoy takes advantage of that and scores another goal.
Well, when we say a one goal advantage isn't much of an advantage at all, you get super sweaty to make sure you have that lead. You got to score that second one as soon as possible. That right there was premium class service. Skoy was right there, dead center punch to make that a 2-0 scoreline.
Moist Towlett trying to start the offensive drives for PP Time, but met with a brick wall every time as Lemon, Skoy, and Track able to just clear the ball into the other half of the pitch, no problem. Skoy trying to buy a little bit of time for Lemon and Tractonics to be on defense here. Back wall, Tractonics play, still in the corner a little bit. Skoy gonna take it up the pitch, stopped by Jamie. Lemon gonna be the third man back. Unfortunate flip. This could prove to be one of the catalyst for a goal, but no, PP Man gonna get a weak touch. Tractonics taking advantage of that as well.
Got ourselves a 2-goal score line, and we saw a little bit of that scrapping dogfighting I knew was going to be pretty much at home with game 2. Not many goals have been scored all series, but this one going to be a shot in front of frame, but it's clear at the last possible second. I could have sworn that would be able to get one back there for PP Time, but Brett had other ideas.
Tractonics with this great corner defense so far. The ball has been in Bread's defensive half for well over a minute and a half, but these guys just keep saving the ball. It's making PP Time very frustrated. Jamie with a huge pop-up. Skoy just going to try to defuse the situation. Hit it into the corner. Moist Towlett with a great angle. Stopped by Skoy. Lemon going to follow up as well. Skoy being the 1-2 again. PP Man with a great backboard defense. Tractonics going to keep it into the mixer. Not before Jamie can clear it out fully for his team.
This right here will be in the worst possible scenario, but Moist Towlett finds a goal of absolutely nowhere. I was about to say this might be a 2-goal easy peasy walk for Bread, but Moist Towlett says, we're still in this one. Pulls one back with 1:18 to go.
It goes to show, I mean, you can be comfortable, but definitely with that comes some mistakes. You did have a 2-goal lead coming into this, but PP Time with a relentless offense as of this game so far. These guys will not stop until that ball goes into the net. Capitalizes on a couple of defensive mistakes out of Team Red, but I mean, now we have a 1-goal deficit, so it should be easy money for PP Time.
Easy money to hold down the charge of Bread, trying to get that insurance goal, trying to make sure it's an easy walk for them. But you know about Hart is the X factor when it comes to Rocket League, especially at this level. Being able to be a nuisance to your opponent that causes them to make those mental mistakes. As we go all the way in here. Final 35 seconds to go, 2-1 favoring Bread.
Moist Towlett with a great opportunity, blocked by another Team Bread member. Tractonics gonna lead the charge once again for his team. Great pass to Skoy. PP Man did not see it, and Skoy locks it in 3-1.
This right here is a critical goal. Like I said before, a 1-goal advantage isn't much of an advantage at all, but it was kind of like a juggle, but it was sent home, slotted home by Skoy. 3-1 favoring Bread. They have one game in hand. This could be here too, and nothing changes.
20 seconds left. It's hard to score 2 goals, especially with such fast counterattacks coming out of Bread from these offensive changes. Moist Towlett and Jamie not being able to find the net really hurts PP Time in this series, and it very well could be 2-0 very quickly.
Well, 2-0 could be a situation, but now we pulled one back. Daddy! Well, like here in the corner, a little bit of a top, a little bit of a pop, and that one here was slotted home with 3 seconds to go. Kickoff goals have happened in this sport there, big fella. Will it happen now?
It very well could. 3 seconds is plenty of time. Moist Towlett seems to believe as well. Time is running out. Jamie unable to keep the ball up, and it looks like Bread is going to go up 2-0 into the series. This could very well be our first sweep of the week.
Well, I'm not going to have that brooms out quite yet. I would say Brett had the advantage going in, but 2 games up, 2 games down. Brett with the advantage, couldn't call that in a million years. This one here was a bit more scrappy than that first contest, but the result's the same. 2 games already to the tally of Brett. Wherever it comes down to PB time, whatever they have planned, it has to happen now in Game 3 coming up.
Absolutely. Skylar taking a huge step up from game one, being the bottom leaderboard, now finally being able to score a few goals for his team, put his team up where they need to be, up 2 games as well. Jamie, I know we said was going to be the player to watch, but it really seems like Moist Towlett seems to be carrying the counterattack options for PP Time. And on the opposite end, I really think Tractonics is doing a phenomenal job leading these counterattacks for Team Bread as they quickly score over and over and over again for Team Bread this series.
You know, one thing I realized about Team Bread is that when they feel themselves, when the confidence is there, we're seeing a lot more different shots from all different areas of the pitch. That right there is an indicator that you have faith in your team, that you have faith in the individual effort. About 20 seconds of lap here, we're still tied at 0-0, but it feels that Bread has every bit the advantage.
Synergy is one of the most important qualities in your teammates for a league like this, and normally we would see that in Jamie and Moist Towlett. Just as I say, the commentator's cursed as Moist Towlett follows it up from Jamie. Beautiful combo as Jamie goes for that bump to lead the low and far post shot.
Those corners of the pitch are like quicksand. If you go in, you gotta have a plan to get out. Now ball was loose and Moist Towlett was there when needed. And now for the first time I think in forever, PP Time has an advantage. But as I say that, that was knocked away. And it's still 1-0 on our side.
Jamie with the quick counterattack tries to go for the dunk here. Lemon quick to get that ball out of harm's way and quick to set up the counterattack as well as Lemon leads the charge once again. Tractonics trying to get it back past the Sky as Sky winds up losing the ball up to PP Man as PP Man now leads the charge. Tractonics gonna get that ball well away from their goal and again lead their charge, but unfortunately doesn't have enough boost as Jamie once again playing the ping pong action this game, as now Jamie's turn to try to lead the charge goes awry as Tractonics gets another clear.
Thinking about the mental here for Bread, you have 2 games advantage. You are so close to series point, but if that scoreline holds, you're looking at letting your opponent back into the series. You know you can't let that happen. You don't want to let that happen. You gotta find whatever you can to get an equalizer, put that position, put that power back into your grasp.
A little bit of a desperate play on defense. I don't think PP Time has too much boost to be able to stress over. Jamie looking like he's out of boost, finally gets some life there as he tries to clear it. Double commit coming up out of Team Bread here. PP Man gets a nice pass off the wall, but Moist Towlett can't capitalize. Gonna try to back pass as Jamie goes up for the ball, and unfortunately a miss from Tractonics as well. Puts his teammates in a little bit of an awkward position. This ball is stuck at the midfield.
And there's no mistakes, only fakes. And everyone was faked out for that one. Yeah, 2:41 to go in game 3, 1-0 PP Time. Looking to find themselves on that series tally, whereas Bread is there to do series point. Whatever they have to do, that tactics they use in game 1 and 2 is not working for them. I suggest, if I was a betting man, use the walls to your advantage. And as I say that, shot by Lemon, top of the key, bring brought down, beat by, and it's hit left on goal.
Very close call for Team PP Time. As a great 50 as well. PP Man, the star of the show, may have just sealed the deal with that second goal, but great capitalization of that 50, knowing where he needed to be and getting that ball into the back of the net.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So many times you say, you know, I'm going to stop the ball to stop the flow of the attack. What ends up happening is you put that ball on the tee for your opponent, and that was slotted home by PP Time. 2-0, they have the advantage with about 2 minutes to go.
I think the key thing here is PP Time have been getting a lot more demos on offense as well. Normally it was Bread controlling the demo momentum. A lot of power plays enabled them to score, but now I believe PP Time kind of took that advice and said, all right, well, we'll make that our own. Jamie and Moist Towlett getting a few key demos there to seal the deal for their 2 goals, as Moist Towlett again gets another great demo. Jamie leading the charge, trying to score. Tractonics with a rare mishap as well. Skoy there to bail him out, but Jamie once again just gonna keep dishing it back until it goes into the back of the net. Skoy might not have enough boost to defend this, but Tractonics will, as he picks up a corner and tries to relieve his team of some of that pressure.
Gotta give it up to Bread. They're finding different ways to have angles around goal, top, left, right. They've done it wherever they can but score. Looking out at last minute, that one is another shot that was at the frame, but that one finally gets in. That scoreline is now cut in half. Brett is on the board.
Lemon with a great follow-up. If at first you don't succeed, hit it again and again and again until they miss. And Lemon proves that right now with a beautiful goal to keep them alive. Just over 1 minute remaining in Game 3.
1 minute to score one goal to equalize, or one goal to put the nail in the coffin. A lot of time for both these two teams. 1 minute official. Who's going to be the first one to flinch? If you're looking at PP time, you're looking at Bread, there's no way the score is going to hold. And as I say that, this could possibly be the dagger or the insurance. Moist Towelette makes it a trade.
Jamie with a few key bumps there, throwing everyone on Team Bread off of their game. Beautiful couple of demos, sets Moist Towelette up for a perfect goal opportunity, and they will take advantage of that. 3-1, just under a minute to go.
To wonder whether or not, if you are PP time, to try to stuff the ball, slow down the pace, and work the clock, and you try to go for that fourth goal, and it comes down to whether or not you're more aggressive or not. Either way, Red understands time is not on their side to score not one but two goals here. Hitting the top is going the other direction. That one's missed. It's hitting all the way back, and that one is clearly a little left to go. That could have been the most egregious of goals there, big fella. Or maybe it is.
Moist Towelette capitalizing on the fact that Lemon unable to finish that air dribble, ran out of boost. Moist Towelette taking advantage of the 50, just sinking it back in, and I believe that should be the nail in the coffin, Novanta.
Well, that was a nail in the coffin. That was the bearing of the coffin. That was a shovel of dirt on top of the coffin. 20 seconds to go to score 3 goals. Strange things have happened in Rocket League, but I don't think it's going to happen here today, big fella.
Just the natural aggression out of Jamie himself as well as his other teammates. Just the offensive pressure is a lot to bear. And I think the first couple of games, Team Bread did a great job of being able to dodge that and also get a couple demos for themselves to start those power plays that enabled them to score all those goals throughout the games. But I think the real MVP of this game so far has definitely been Moist Towelette. He stepped up in Game 3. Jamie created a lot of opportunities for him to succeed, and every single time Jamie set him up, he succeeded in scoring, and he led the team in goals, and quite possibly the series. Who knows?
It's the worst possible result there for Bread. You're so close to locking it down in 3 games up and 3 games down. You let your opponent back into this with the win. Now it's 2 games to 1 game. The sky is not quite falling there, big fella, but it's dang near close. Bread has to go with something brand new we haven't seen before to put this one away.
Absolutely. This Game 4 is going to be very critical for this team of PP Time. They have to come back. They have to treat it like a best of 3. They have to treat it like their lives are on the line in this Game 4 if they want to survive in this series.
Now it may be comeback season, or it may be just delaying the inevitable. But this might be a whole different kind of structure we've seen so far from these two teams. Maybe urgencies on the agenda to see who can score first, who can draw first blood. 15 seconds elapsed. It's still 0-0. Bread, 2 games in his best of 5. PP Time, 1 game in his best of 5. Who's going to be the one to the scales?
Well, it looks like Tractonic's eager to try to score off of this offensive drive. Gets denied by Jamie, as Jamie again heading the charge for his team, maybe trying to enable a little bit of offensive maneuvers for Moist Towelette. Tractonics with a great save as PP Man comes flying in. Lemon wanting to take it slow. Tries to get a pass, but Jamie takes advantage of the speed. And again, gets a great shot just wide. Skoy to hit it to the wall.
Well, that was a lazy ball that was pretty pilfered. We had 2 opportunities to score that goal and it didn't happen. Now, maybe one of those exchanges where you rue the day if you're on the losing end of that. You don't get many opportunities to score, but as I say that, it's now 1-0 PP Time.
Jamie, once again, being the fastest one in the air, beating people in the 50s. Skoy with an unfortunate save. He couldn't quite get to it, but the key there was Jamie was able to get there fast enough to beat out in the air and score that first goal for PP Time.
For that first goal for PP Time, being down by 2 games to 1 is a little bit of a cushion, but you know that cushion is thin AF. 3:45 to go, 1 goal advantage. PP Time is looking scrambling to get a second one there. In that corner, stuffed by Tektronics. We have a little bit of a battle there. Big fella, let me ask you a question. If you're Bread, you have that extra game in hand. What is going through your mind right now?
I think you would just kind of have to take your time on this, right? I mean, the momentum is clearly shifted in PP Time's favor, but you have to remind yourself that, listen, hey, we won the first 2 games for a reason. I think they have to go back to their mechanics that they were doing earlier on. They were chasing for these demos. They were constantly getting the 50s on offense, and Tractonics leading the charge once again as they tie up the score in Game 4.
I don't know about you, but I feel like Tektronics first subscribe to your YouTube channel because as you were saying what they need to do, found a way to manufacture a goal, and now we're level once more. Big fella knows how to win. Tektronics knows how to score. It's a brand new game.
Yeah, I think the momentum really actually shifted. As soon as Tractonics scored, you could feel the electricity, the synergy coming back to Team Bread. They remembered why they won the first 2 games. They knew Game 3 was a fluke. It doesn't matter. Game 4, they're a whole new team, and they're able to come back and rejuvenate, tie up the game with just over 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
We got ourselves a little bit of a change, a little bit of exchange here, 1-to-1. Both teams looking to do something kind of special here. And I gotta tell you one thing, what I like about these two teams is they found out what their teammate was doing, what their opponent was doing, and they adapted. These are tactics that are going to be advantageous to them in the playoff scenario because, frankly, we're early in the season yet, but both these teams can definitely lock in and be prime-time playoff players. And they stick with it, shallow frame, and it hits the post. But Daddy is there, baby, 2-1.
PP Man with an insane read. Very well done on offense, refusing to give up that ball and really wanting to get it into the back of the net. Unfortunately, that shot that was just wide baited out 2 members out of Team Bread and allowed PP Man to hit it into the back of the net.
Are we going to have a Game 5? Are we going to have a Game 5 there, big fella? Let me know. I trust your judgment.
9Moons has had plenty of Game 5s, Novanta. As much as I would love for it to not commentators curse, I feel like we're going to have a Game 5.
Less than 2 minutes to go here. 2-1, favoring PB Time. Have the bit of momentum. They won that last game, trying to find themselves an equalizer, but then in the corner is where attacks go to die. And I can tell you, as we hit the 145 mark, that next goal will say a lot about what's going to happen in this series. That was swatted away by Lemons of God. And we have a back and forth in that mid-pick, something I was waiting for, hoping for in that Game 1, but hasn't seen until now. Who's going to be the first one to break first blood? Who's going to be the first one to score to be a hero? Who's going to be the one to give your team the advantage? I can't call it, baby.
Lots of aggression coming out of PP Man. I know he's the 3rd man, but he's looking fantastic out here in the latter part of this series, really leading the charge for Jamie's team. And again, allowing Jamie to roam free, do what he does best, get in the face of his opponent, really mess them up in that mental warfare. As Skoy just tries to take everything slow, Jamie's going to try to attack the mind and the net.
Well, final minute here, 2-1 PP Time. If this score line holds, which is possible, then we have a Game 5 situation, but Bread hasn't liked Game 5. They've seen how close they were to winning the series, to see that position slip away. They want to be able to clip this off, nip it in the bud. 40 seconds to do so. All they need is 1 goal to force an equalizer situation, 2 goals to win it. Will it be their time, or are we looking at a Game 5 situation?
Jamie with a great clear into a great setup. Jamie gonna self-dish with a beautiful shot right off the backboard into the back of the net. What an execution, and I agree with you, Novanta. I believe that will be the end result. I think we're going to go to a Game 5.
You know, so many different series you will say, no, there's so much time to score, but how goals have been so hard to come by in this best of 5. It very may be the dagger and the twist. Barring something miraculous, 20 seconds to go. We have a last-ditch effort from Brett to find a goal on tally, get that ball back for a kickoff. It doesn't look like it's going to happen. This one's popped up and it's knocked away. And as he says right now, we're heading to a Game 5 situation there, fella.
Tractonics trying again to get some demos and get that power play going for Team Bread, but unfortunately it's just not enough. It's a little too late, and PP Time have now the potential to reverse sweep Team Bread from those 2 games that we saw where Team Bread dominated. PP Time may as well come back from this.
Let me ask you a question. Did you see a best of five going to a game five tonight with this group?
Not. I don't think so. I knew it was going to be close, but I thought maybe a 3-1 possibly. But we have a game five on our hands, Novanta. I am so very excited to get into this. Any team can win. PP time coming in with the momentum. Lots of pressure onto the net of Team Bread. Lots of defensive mistakes coming out of Team Bread as well. But Tractonic's unable to lead the charge like he normally does.
Yeah, not usually this happens, but the key to victory is the same for both teams. It seems that both teams are very good at being nuisances on the top and bottom third, but not many teams are willing or even brave enough to do the backboard or that double tap city. I say, you know what? It's a Z-axis game for a reason. Go to the sky, bring it down if you can. The first team that masters that can walk away with a game five victory.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Novanta, as we head into game five. Momentum heading in favor of PP time as we head into the game. What are your thoughts?
Well, you look at PP time, they have the 2 games to their tally. What you gotta do is just be a little bit more of that small ball, short, secure passes in that mid-pitch to confuse the defense. But if you're Bread, you gotta go to the sky. You are a quicker team, you're crisper on your rotations. When you go to the sky, you have a little bit of opportunity before your opponent, and that right there could have been the first goal, but it's knocked away the last possible second.
Moist Towelette trying to keep the ball in the offensive half, but Lemon finally finding a little bit of room to breathe, beats out Jamie. PB Man having to save the ball, barely a touch. Skoy with a great shot on net, blocked by Moist. Good back pass as well. It seems like Team Bread is coming out swinging in this game five. Almost just hits the crossbar as well, back into the corner. Bread is relentless in this offense right now, desperate to find the back of PB Time's net.
You know what? I can't blame them. How many times have I been in the best of five situation? I got 2 games to my tally. I'm feeling pretty sweet. I go, the next game is going to be mine. And somehow I'm in the best of five, game five situation. I go, oh my goodness, I could possibly lose this. I will look for that blue side to be a lot more aggressive. And thankfully, they're doing that right now.
Great read by Tractonics as he's going to go coast to coast to defend that, enabling Skoy to just clear the ball downfield. Moist Towelette with an unfortunate touch. Can he recover? Just barely. Skoy trying to take advantage of that. Lemon already up, trying to shoot the ball, but all 3 members of PB Time going to be in the back of the net to defend that. Moist Towelette trying to find a little bit of an air dribble blocked by Skoy, but Jamie's just going to clear it downfield as well. Tractonics with a slight bump. Takes him a little bit off his wheels, but not too big a deal. This ball still moves forward in the chains.
A little bit of exchange back and forth, but it's still surprising that no one's able to draw first blood. I thought for sure that was going to be a Skoy goal, but Moist Towelette, on the mistake of their own, found a way to recover, and we're still tied at 0 apiece. About 2:59 to go here in this best of five, game five, meaning not much of a error of expertise to make a mistake, and that could have been the first goal on. We have ourselves a little bit of a dogfight in that mid-pitch. You know Bread doesn't want to be able to be up 2 games to lose everything. You know PP Time, with the last 2 game wins in their tally, want to be able to have that reverse sweep, that gentleman sweep. And we're seeing now both teams giving us everything in only the first game of the Monday night play here at 9Moons Gaming. And that one shot frame knocked away from goal.
Tractonics doing a great job once again, trying to spearhead the defense for his team, trying to enable Lemon and Skoy to be able to do whatever they need to do on offense. Continue to pressure the back of the net and continue to get these 50s that are so desirable for them. However, PP Man and Jamie getting wonderful clears with a great opportunity as well, baiting out Skoy to jump. Moist Towelette again being a little scrappy as they start a power play, but this counterattack could prove to be disastrous as Tractonics just wide, unable to defend it. PP Man gets a great clear as well. It's now a 2v1, tries to flick it, unfortunate, but Jamie capitalizing as well. So close back and forth this game of ping pong, but these teams are relentless to give up the first goal.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you feel pretty confident yourself to beat one, not 2, but 3 defenders, and you can't find a way to finish. But as I say that, we have our first goal deep in the game five, and it's coming from Bread.
Absolutely great execution from Team Bread, You have to stay calm, cool, and collected in Game 5 because Game 5 is where champions can be created. It's where champions are made. And beautiful execution out of Team Bread shows that they are the ones with the ice in their veins. Hopefully, PP Time can come back and try to score an equalizer, but it took 3.5 minutes just to crack the net. So it could prove to be very difficult.
A lot of times we have a late goal happen and then you have a quick goal coming after that. May not be the case in this time, but Bread finally waking up after a 2-game slumber, a minute away of walking away with a victory. They are now possibly their own worst enemy. It comes down to them. They make no mistakes. They walk away the victors. Who's going to be the first one to flinch?
Just under a minute, Lemon again peppering the backboard, trying to create something for their team. Skoy with a nice touch. Can it go in? Just bouncing off the post as well. PP Man and Jamie gonna bump each other out of the way, but luckily it goes just wide. PP Man back in net to defend it. Less than 30 seconds remaining and the pressure is on for PP Time.
Pressure is on. You understand how much you've done to get yourself back on level ground with a very strong team. 15 seconds to go, but making your own destiny. You've got to put something on frame now. Here's an opportunity that's left of goal, and that may be the best opportunity they had, and it's squandered there, fella.
Lemon with a beautiful clear, shattering the hopes and dreams of PP Time Bread. Coming all the way out from a 2-game deficit to pull away with the victory, delaying the inevitable. What a series, Novanta.
Gotta give those Bread supporters a little bit of those aspirin because they may have had a heart attack watching this best of 5. Thought it was going to be a cakewalk. Wasn't the case. It was a very, very game PP time. At the end of the day, it was all Bread.
Absolutely. I mean, Team Bread really came out and showed their worth. A lot of times I thought PP Time would be scoring goal after goal after goal with these offensive drives. These guys were killing it. Peppering the backboard left and right, constantly keeping it in the corner of Team Bread. But Team Bread kept their composure. They went down 2 games, but that was just an even playing field. It was just a best of 1. So they really pulled out their momentum and really started to carry themselves, went back to their roots from their Game 1 and Game 2 victory, trying to go for these more power play opportunities, trying to go for these demos and 3v2 offensive drives that they did, and very well succeeded.
Absolutely. If you're watching this going, I want to get myself involved in that, 9Moons Gaming on Twitch, make sure you follow the channel and start some more because you can be part of this back and forth exchange because the talent here is off the charts and we're just getting started.
With that said, Novanta, it is time to talk about our second game of the night. We got Phatties Barbecue versus Atlas 512, 2 veteran teams we've been able to watch last week perform on stream and really outdo themselves. I mean, honestly, Phatties Barbecue did, I believe, wind up taking the loss on stream tonight, but they did very well to recoup. And again, it's really hard to tell whether a team is good or not just off of the first week. You know, a loss is a loss, but really, you know, that could be a number 1 seed's only loss of the entire season. It's very hard to determine very early on in the season.
Phatties Barbecue, the most dopest name I think in this season. Maybe going against a buzzsaw. Atlas 512, the super club, if you will, of 9Moons Gaming. They've been there for a long time. They have a pedigree. I would say have the advantage of name recognition alone. But you and I both know their big fella. You and I both know every given Monday it comes down to who has the heart. So it may be a lot closer than we hoped.
Yeah, and again, these teams continue to impress me. Season after season, we always get a higher cap and a higher pool of higher skilled players, and it's just amazing to see the level of 9Moons Rocket League really evolve from when we saw very early in Season 1 till now. These players have outdone themselves. These players are absolutely phenomenal, performing very well game after game, season after season. Every single player from Diamond up, these guys are killing it. Even if you're the third man, it's not a crutch at all. It's really the showcase for these third man players. Players like Lemon, as we saw, this guy was phenomenal. PP Man as well. These guys did insane in performing as best as they could and really didn't seem like a crutch at all. These guys really killed it.
Yeah, you look at both these teams, Phatties Barbecue or the squad of Quack, Burt, and Bat. I gotta say, what's up, Bat Usai? How's life? Against Alice 512 and Snarf and Dark. There are no diamonds. This is gonna be high level Rocket League in the upper division of 9Moons Gaming, so you know the mistakes were going to be costly because it's a matter of just inches, a matter of centimeters, a matter of just one decision being the difference between winning a game and losing it.
Yeah, I mean, and these teams, Snarf becoming a returning champion on his team, you know, definitely don't want to underestimate his skill level as an adaptive player. I think that's very rare in a league like this, is you have a player that adapts to his team, and he can play whatever position you need, however you need it. It's a fantastic opportunity for a player like Snarf. And just like that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get right into it. Game 1 of Phatties Barbecue versus Atlas 512 with Burnt striking first blood 7 seconds in.
You thought 9Moons Gaming was going to have a 15-minute break and have a time to breathe. Sorry, we got action coming at you left, right, and center. And just like that, 7 seconds elapsed in his best of 5. There was the first goal there. What's up there, Phatties?
Well, Phatties Barbecue once again proving their worth with the Burnt to Dust and Quack synergy, being the twos champions that we've seen previously on stream last week, applying that kickoff goal pressure. I think Phatties Barbecue is one of the best teams to do it this season. I think they're one of the best teams to have the pressure that they do. They have such good pressure when it comes to kickoff goals. The first 10 seconds are always scary for the opponents.
Enough to exert some dominance, but if you're looking at Atlas 512, they've come from behind before. They are just scary. I mean, you talk about the legacy, talk about what they've done before here in 9Moons Gaming, the patience they have on the ball. I understand that best of 5 means you can't sit there and have patience forever, but looking at a 1-goal deficit doesn't mean it's the end of days for them. And a shot on frame that hit the left side is cleared away. That could have easily been an equalizer.
1 goal is not enough to seal the deal for your team, especially in a game 1 where both teams are starving for the win. Burnt to Dust, just gonna dribble past all 3 and shove it into the back of the net.
Well, Burnt to Dust did something that their teammates were looking for, is being able to get that in front of frame, beating 2 defenders and the third. And well, if you're gonna bunch in the corner, your opponent is gonna be punishing you for it. And we have us a 2-goal advantage there for Barbecue.
2 goals in just over a minute is quite impressive, especially compared to the last series where we didn't see too many goals coming out of either side due to their solid defense. But it looks like this is just going to be a back and forth slaughter, Novanta, as N4K takes advantage of the backboard pass and just dunks past 2.
This is going to be the opposite of the last series we saw there, big fella. It's going to be a hit parade. 3:41 to go. We've seen 3 goals. There's a 2-1 split for the Barbecue Phatties, but Atlas 512 finally gets on the board.
The absolute counterplay coming out of Snarf actually almost blocks the goal, but again, a back-to-back goal for Atlas 512. Never count this team out. They will always find ways to counterattack and come back. You can never count them out, as well as they just equalized the game in less than 90 seconds.
Like a pack of wolves is hanging around a goal, making sure that ball goes through the net. Gotta give him credit for that, the aggression, but you're right. It's a whole new game now. We're tied 2 apiece.
And 4K attempting to try to go a little bit slow, but I don't think that's the agenda for Phatties Barbecue. They want to go nice and fast like a Fast and Furious movie, as Burnt to Dust tries to get it out of the corner, and 4K just waiting in the wings, wanting to see what action Quack has. But it seems like it's just a little duck, nothing too threatening, as N4K gets another clear. Dark tries to follow that up. Batsusai off the wall, great opportunity off the backboard. Nobody's there though. Dark gonna take it nice and slow, no pressure at all. Burnt to Dust gonna stop the ball, and Dark gonna try to contest for it. But again, we got our 5th goal. It's not even halftime.
Well, that was almost a team save in the most weirdest way, but okay, whatever. It was effective. And coming from behind, a 2-goal deficit to come out ahead is a lot to say about Atlas 512. Said their praises before. They are a caliber team for a reason, and as it stands right now, they have a 1-goal advantage.
You know what they say, Novanta, the best defense is a great offense. 5 goals scored in barely the first half of the game. These guys are going back and forth with goal after goal. These guys not respecting each other's defense. Dark just gonna pin it to the back of the crossbar. Quack gonna get a nice little touch there to stall it out a little bit, but N4K has got other plans. Snarf trying to get a bump here, continuing their offensive drive. Dark has an opportunity as well. Birds of Dust not able to capitalize. 4-2 with Dark's second goal of the game.
There's nothing worse than being stuck in net flat-footed to watch someone score on you or dunk on you or break your axle. That right there was a front row seat to happen if you hesitate. 4-2 there for Atlas 512.
Snarf with a nice playoff, or kickoff, excuse me, not playoffs quite yet, only second week in, but N4K with a nice defense as well. Great kickoff strat. Quack trying to just keep it in the offensive half, move his teammates up the pitch. That gonna get a nice little touch. Quack tries to pass it to Burnt, a little too wide there. Burnt gonna try to go for the offensive boost steal, but that will not work in their favors. The ball gets cleared back to their defensive half. That and a little bit of trouble. Burnt to Dust gets absolutely demolished, so it's just Quack in the back. Gets a nice flick, but not well enough as N4K. Gonna shove it back into the mixer. Hopefully he can get some good milkshake out of that as the ball continues to stay in the corners of Phatties Barbecue.
Wait, what about milkshakes and barbecues, man? I'm just getting hungry now hanging with you, big fella. I go for a milkshake. Are you a strawberry guy, a vanilla guy, a chocolate guy?
You know, I always say the more the merrier. Strawberries, banana, and chocolate milkshake sounds fantastic to me right now, Nevada.
Oh, glorious. That's we have a 5-2 score there. N4K makes this a little bit of a goal with authority. Got yourself the Jurassic Park goal explosion. 5-2, Atlas 5-1-2. And not only they scored 5 goals, they sent 5 goals after having 2 goals unanswered scored against them. They are rocking and rolling.
These guys just do not care about the game at all. Emotionally, these guys are just lethal robots, just trained on the back of Phatties Barbecue's net. These guys are fast, but not necessarily accurate. They have to plan on continuously getting good clears out of their half in order to stop the offensive pressure from Atlas 5-1-2.
We're talking about this going into this series. There is no diamonds on either of these squads, so it really comes down to exploring the slight mistakes you get at this high level of Rocket League. Upper division here at 9Moons, and as it stands right now, a 5-2 scoreline is the most emphatic scoreline we've seen all night there, fella.
Snarf with a little bit of slow play. I'm a little surprised. I mean, again, you want to see Snarf is one of those players that is very good at adapting to the playstyle, but it seems like Snarf can't really catch up quite yet in this game 1. Looks like he's been running a little bit slow, and 4K and Dark really kind of running the show as of game 1.
Yeah, you know what? You hit the nail on the head there when it comes to these two teams. It really feels like Atlas 5-1-2 took a little bit to get started. And once it got started, it was all them, all momentum, all energy, whatever you want to call it there. 5 goals scored, and they were able to walk away with a game 1 victory.
Yeah, I would have liked a little bit more synergy between Burnt and Quack there, but you don't see too much of his Snarf with a cheeky attempt on a 6th goal, but we're not going to have it. But game 1, Atlas takes very convincingly.
I've been one of the situations where it's a frustrating game for the Barbecue Phatties. They be able to pin their opponent down for about 90 seconds, score 2 goals. You say, what happened? Do we go back to those early 90 seconds and see what worked for them? Or do you try a whole new strategy entirely? It's a best of 5 series. You have some time to experiment, but not all the time in the world. This game too, is going to be critical for them.
Absolutely. And again, we've seen last series the reverse sweep potential for these guys is through the roof. I mean, these guys are top of the skill level for our league here. These guys are veterans to our league, 2's champions on the side of Phatties Barbecue. You've got to think that they still have the synergy. They just have to draw it out within them for the rest of the series.
Well, yeah, you get yourself a little bit of lead. It's a whole new thing to maintain that lead. You figure that out, it's going to be a different series altogether. It's another 5 minutes, 12 seconds already elapsed, and you're looking to see if Barbecue Phatties are able to get another one, first game, to their series tally.
Quack trying to be quick to the ball, but again, getting punished for their aggression is Snarf. Finally coming out of the woodworks to score the first blood for the second game. Burnt to Dust trying to get back as best he can, but they got caught out a little too far up.
always say even number games is the most aggressive, and that's what happens if you do that one-to-one, that shadow defense into being a nuisance, that meta, and went the other way. Almost a counterattack with a little bit of help of the wall, and Atlas 5-1-2 is out in front once again.
Once again, I mean, these guys are absolute killers. You see N4K quite literally everywhere on the pitch, being able to support his teammates however possible. Snarf trying to go for a double tap, but Quack being a great brick wall his team desperately needs as they're trying to clear the ball downfield. Quack barred down a beautiful equalizer. And this is what we love to see out of Phatties Barbecue, Dovanta.
You know me, I'm always down for a good bar down ski. A little bit of that service, seeing their partner, bringing it down. Precision when precision is needed. We have ourselves once again a tie game.
Phatties Barbecue finally getting a little bit of breathing room, much needed for them here in this series after quite a couple goals going unanswered for the side of Atlas. It's good to see Phatties Barbecue still has it in them to be able to get these shots that they desperately need.
I'm sorry, what is a Phatties Barbecue? Do you know? Is it like barbecues are only for fatties involved? Is it like fat cuts of meat? Like, what's going on?
I have, honestly, you know, it's hard to say because Phatties Barbecue can cover a whole lot of barbecue.
Yeah.
It's a wide genre.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong, that's for sure. About a minute and a half gone by, you're still tied at 1 apiece, and you know you're Atlas 5-1-2. You have that one game in hand, want to make it 2 games in hand. Shot on frame, but it's knocked away by Quack or Quacker here on that game, on that score tally. You know what, fella? I gotta say, go the other way. Excuse me. Hold that thought. Bert has made sure that Barbecue Phatties has a goal going ahead.
Yeah, Burns does really taking advantage once again. Atlas got a little too comfortable, little too caught up, and that's what led to the first goal for Atlas originally, was Phatties Barbecue being a little too far up, but now it seems like the tides have turned for Phatties Barbecue as they take the lead for the first time this series.
Well, before the goal was scored, I was going to ask you what keys to victory you think Barbecue Phatties has to do, but scoring goals is definitely an idea. Why not? They have the advantage, they have the lead, 3 minutes to go here in game 2 with Atlas 5-1-2. The advantage, and the advantage is evaporated. Snarf with the equalizer here right in front of net.
Couple of unfortunate touches by Burnt and Quack really led the play for Snarf to execute this. Really unfortunate, but again, that's one of the biggest things Phatties Barbecue really has to work on here in this series is their clears. They have to get it down the field in order for them to start scoring. Dark taking a big advantage once again of the defense mistakes of Phatties Barbecue. Now going to take the lead back for game number 2.
Goal so quick, I thought it was a replay glitch. Goodness me, we have ourselves a brand new game. Atlas 5-1-2 with the 1 goal advantage.
Dark with the kickoff again. Can he score back-to-back? No, Burnt to Dust finally being able to prepare himself for a potential back-to-back goal, realizing that their kickoff strength is very strong here in the beginning seconds of that kickoff. N4K trying to throttle his boost a little bit. Quack just trying to clear it down the field and go for these demos, but unfortunately can't find it. Quack gonna tee it off a Snarf right now, and again, they can't find the other half. Atlas 5-12 doing a great job. Burns Dust with a little bit of mustard though, showing a little bit of hope for Phatties Barbecue, but Snarf slowly taking the lead from him. As N4K capitalizes on the beautiful pass by Snarf, making it 4-2 with just over 2 minutes left.
Those are kind of games that will make anyone frustrated, let alone Barbecue Phatties. You have yourself little that control the pitch, you have a possession game, and not only that, you can stop the runs of Atlas 5-2. But for some reason we can't even describe, is a 4-2 scoreline going the opposite direction. Atlas 5-1-2 finds a way to make those happen, find a way to get themselves out in front, and with 2 minutes to go, and looking every bit the aggressor.
Quack trying a little desperately to just cross the ball to his teammate. Burnt to Dust having to rotate back. They can't find any offense on the pitch right now besides those 2 quick counterattack goals. It seems like Atlas is really shutting them out this game.
Well, you know what? Atlas 5-1-2 is very cool about being that Viper, being that Boa Constrictor, seeing their opponent and just locking down, because this game here looks a little bit stronger for them. Even though it's only 2 goals separating, it does feel like it's an Atlas 5-1-2 game for them to lose.
Dark, last man back, burnt to dust, trying desperately to get it into the back of the net, but Dark is gonna be there in time. As N passing it up to Snarf through the corner. Quack again trying to be that brick wall that the Phatties barbecue needs.
Oh man.
Just as Dark yells for, tees it off the defender. Dark again trying to find the back of the net. Burnt to dust being the first one to touch it. Quack again breaking up the ball, just a little bit bad with a great clear, but Dark is already back and ready with a bunch of boosts, able to capitalize. Quack again, not able to be the brick wall, got caught off guard with the speed of this shot, and Quack just unable to get back on time.
Yeah, that goal was just laying the notable blues. Two shots that were dead to rights there for Alex 512, and thankfully they were cleared. But in doing that, in clearing that goal, left everyone out of position for that rebound. And now, much like the last game, 5 goals scored by Alex 512.
A little bit of an offensive opportunity, but again, it's just wide. They can't find the back of the net. Phatties barbecue giving it up. They're right in front of the net. They're so close, but they keep rotating out every time, not being able to capitalize their offensive drives here as Quack and Burnt are forced to retreat once more. Dark on the wall to contest, and again being another pain in the neck for Phatties barbecue as they just can't clear it out of their own half. As Dark, oh, an unfortunate pinch, but Dark is ready. 6-2, Novanta.
Well, that last 2 goals with a dagger, this one here was a twist. Atlas 512, I'm not even sure what that even means. Doesn't matter if you win though, right? 16 seconds away of being a series point.
These guys are absolute monsters on the pitch right now, proving their dominance with returning champs Snarf and veteran N4K. These guys are killers as a combo together, outwitting the twos champion winners as game 2 underway finally closes up. We are on the potential for a ride of a 3-0.
That's the thing you don't want to hear for barbecue Phatties. Getting swept on stream, and being on stream is kind of nerve-wracking enough. And now you're looking at series point, and you're not even the team at series point. You're on the opposite. What's going through your mind for game 3? I'm not so sure, but the one thing you're gonna do is you gotta score up or shore up your scoring opportunities, or else this is gonna be a 3-up, 3-down for you.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but again, Novanta, we did see a reverse sweep potential coming out for these guys last series. It was a 2-0 originally, and PP Tom was able to come back to that game 5 before Bread finalized it. But again, Novanta, we could possibly see that. There could be a little bit of a momentum shift. It looks like Quack or Burnt to Dust, I believe, might be undergoing a car change, maybe a little bit of mental fortitude, kind of strengthening your comfort zone a little bit, being able to switch the cars up. But right now, I think these guys are looking very, very strong on the side of Atlas 512 right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. Sometimes when I'm looking at defeat, I try to switch my car up, but I have the F-150 or the Mustang because I'm Fort Tough, baby. But this one here is a little bit different than the last game because it really felt like in that last series it can go either way. But Atlas 512 has found a way to occupy space that barbecue Phatties does not occupy to make goals happen. I'm not saying a game 5 situation is impossible. It requires something a lot more beyond the pale to make it a possibility.
I think oftentimes the Phatties barbecue either give up too early on the possession or rather just try to go for passing plays, and if that pass doesn't work out, they all just immediately go on the retreat. They're a very defensive team this series, at least, but that just goes to show how strong Atlas 512's offense is, being able to break through Phatties barbecue attempted defense. These guys are just absolute killers. Burnt to Dust unable to get it, and Dark shooting another 3 from midfield, excuse me.
Here's the difference. The difference between Atlas 512 is passing plays win the day. That last exchange got stuff in the line. It was okay. But to be able to be in that mindset to do a little bit of a lob pass over their opponent, as a lot of times, a lot of people that want to be heroes don't do. And that one worked out for them. They had the 1-goal advantage, and we're not the 1-minute mark here. Atlas 512, 1-0.
N4K once again being the catalyst, trying to get that flip reset. Trying to hit it off of the backboard. Snarf once again being a thorn in the side of Phatties barbecue. Trying to move the chains though. Dark gonna shut it down with a great demo. N4K is up, does miss it, but not before Snarf gets an additional touch on it. N4K trying to dunk Quack, trying to get it out, but is unable once again. And Novanta, it's another lob into the back of the net.
It's a lob that beats 2-3 defenders. That right there might be a game breaker situation. And you know how it feels to be someone trying so hard to get back in net and whiffing at the line? That was enough to anyone's mental. Atlas 512, 2-goal advantage.
Nice little demo trade might present an opportunity for Phatties Barbecue as N4K in a little bit of trouble here on the backboard and a little bit of an awkward position here. Little Quack gets a nice pinch just high as Snarf going to try to clear the ball. Burnt to Dust trying to follow up on Bat's touch. Something we haven't seen in a little bit is those signature 1-2 touches out of Phatties Barbecue. Dark getting a nice save as well. Burnt to Dust, low boost, but still trying as Snarf gets another great clear.
A lot of times at league play at this level, no one wants to be the one to take out that second or third scoring option. And you don't see those kind of demos quite yet, but I do like about Atlas 512. They shoot passes over that second option of their opponent to really take them out the equation. That's really been able to be their hidden gem, their path to victory. And even though they're up 2-0, it can be much, much more.
Bat with a great demo, kind of resetting Atlas's offense here, and it looks like there's a lot more possession in the defensive half of Atlas. It seems like Phatties Barbecue have found a little bit of breathing room here with the amount of aggression that they had. Just as I say that though, N4K on the counterattack, they are not prepared.
Well, here's it. Ignoring that little of that corner, that's where offense is going to die. It was scooped up, lobbed over, past the N4K. And what do we say? Passing plays win the day? Well, Atlas 512 is going back to the meta that worked for them and worked for them in spades. 3 goals scored, 3 goals unanswered.
And again, the first goal is always the hardest. Phatties Barbecue having a really difficult time trying to find the back of Atlas's net as Quack once again trying to lead the charge, but is always met by a member of Atlas 512 as Burnt to Dust trying to calm the storm that is Atlas, but they are unrelenting.
Well, unrelenting is great. 2 minutes is enough time for Phatties Barbecue to get on the board. They got to find something that's not been done before, because it seems that whatever they've tried has been read like a book by Atlas 512. They have the advantage, they have the psychological advantage, and they have the positioning advantage as we head into 147 here in game 3.
N4K trying to play it slow, setting up his teammates as best he can. Dark creating some trouble for Phatties Barbecue. N4K gonna throw it back in the mixer before being met by Quack with a great save. That almost certainly would have been a goal scored, but Dark with a huge demo, allowing Snarf to seal the coffin. 4-0 with just 90 seconds left.
That is the kind of goal that makes you hang your head and say, sorry guys, in the chat. It was a low roller, it was shot high, but nobody was even remotely around that shot. 4 goals scored, 4 goals, no response. Atlas 512 is rolling.
This momentum is absolutely killer. Atlas 512, a championship caliber team, proving their worth against a lot of the fan favorites, Phatties Barbecue, as N4K just easily passing all the members of Phatties Barbecue, dishing it to Dark as he pops the popcorn in celebration for this Game 3 victory. 5-0.
Yeah, this is getting ugly. This is getting ugly bad. You got more than a minute left. 5 goals scored. Here's the nickel. 5 goals scored. And you look, and the way that Atlas 512 has figured out their opponent, you know there's going to be more in the offing here. Just put a little more icing on the cake.
I think at this point, it's just for morale purposes, but Phatties Barbecue has to put 1 or 2 on the board just for their momentum and motivation's sake. I mean, these guys have been unfortunately struggling against the great teams in this league so far, have had some close calls, but again, unable to capitalize. Bat, unfortunately, a little too slow. Can they get number 6? And says yes with his 2nd goal on the day. 2 goals per player for Atlas.
Look like everyone trying to be a little bit overzealous on that Barbecue Phatties side, to your point, trying to be the one to be the hero to pull one back, but doing that, there was no one at home for the counterattack. Atlas 512 makes it 6. It's going to be a Brazil if, you know, they score one.
You never know. Bees are in the chat right now. 6-0 burnt to dust, just trying his best to move the ball down the pitch. Could be a little bit of greed here. N4K gonna be slow, possibly representing the Brazil. Maybe if they go 7-0, we'll try it, says N. As Dark gonna fake challenges N, just clears the ball down the pitch. Quack again, trying to move it down the pitch. Dark as well off the backboard, their signature combo. And with the finish, 7-0, almost Brazil. And that might spell the end 4K for Phatties.
Yeah, an immaculate display there of power, positioning, and aggressiveness. Being able to score any kind of goal in a chain against your opponents a lot, but 7 goals is majestic.
With only a couple seconds left and all morale has been drained from Phatties Barbecue, Atlas 512 once again proves their dominance this season with a clean 3-0.
Dominance is the beginning to describe it. It was an absolute clinic. Atlas 512, the super club, if you will, 9Moons Gaming, came over to Barbecue Phatties and made quick work of that. 3 goals up, 3 games up, and it's already done.
You gotta admit though, I mean, Phatties Barbecue really came out to the pitch. They tried their best, but it just goes to show you how dominant Atlas 512 is as a team. I mean, you looked, Burnt to Dust was trying to calm the storm that was Atlas multiple times, being the third man in rotation, trying to stall the ball. Batu side being able to try to clear the ball best he can on defense, and Quack doing the best he can to get those saves, but it just was not enough as End and the rest of Atlas just continued to wail at the net until it went in multiple times that series.
Yeah, it was close for a little bit of those games, but that third game shouldn't count. So if you do a VOD review, that's the one you got to make sure if you're Barbecue Phatties to see what went wrong, how the levies broke, so you can fix that up not only for Atlas 512 in playoffs, but for other teams this season.
Absolutely, and again, it was only week 2. There's a lot more Rocket League to be played at 9Moons, ladies and gentlemen. So I thank you all for being able to watch these 2 absolute crazy series with us. And again, thank you as well to Novanta for joining us tonight on behalf of the 9Moons Gaming crew. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you all